stories making headlines in the Nigerian newspapers. I have with me in the studio journalist Onyegbule, and we also have Razak Olokoba joining us to talk more on the newspaper headlines this morning. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us.
Thank you for
TVC
having us.
Breakfast.
And good morning, viewers at home.
All right, so let's head straight to the papers now, and I start with the blueprint. $9.6 billion PNID contract designed to fail federal government. We won't allow local foreign collaborations to rape us off. Nigeria should ask PDP government for explanation. Minister. To the front page of the News Direct, PNID $9.6 billion judgment probe. No official will be excluded from probe. Malami says best option is to negotiate with PNID. And on the front page of the Daily Times, Nigeria's VAT list among top 5 African economies. Investigation. Why we increased value-added tax, that's VAT, to 7.5%, federal government. It's a step in the right direction, says expert. Proposed hike subject to NASA approval, FIRS. And to the front page of the Daily Sun, $9.6 billion debt saga. Nigeria fights back, suspects fraud in gas deal. Probe extends overseas. PNID ghost company with no office anywhere, findings reveal. And to the front page of the Vanguard, xenophobia. Ramaphosa sends envoys to Nigeria, 6 other countries. Aftermath of jeers, boos at Mugabe's burial. Ramaphosa in church blasts perpetrators of attacks. Sues South Africa's government now. Bolaji Akinyemi urges federal government. And finally, to the front page of the Nation newspaper, South Africa's envoy heads for Nigeria on peace mission. 320 Nigerians back tomorrow. Akinyemi to federal government. Go to the World Court. Well, we'll be looking at the story on the front page of the Daily Times this morning, speaking about the increment in the value-added tax from 5 to 7.5%. That's about a 2.5 increase. And some have said, I'll start with you, Ify, ladies first today, say, that it is ill-timed. But what do you make of this increment?
Saying that it's ill-timed is actually, understating the issue as it is. Of course, when that news went there, I went to check out what it was when you look at other parts of the world. Yes, there are some countries where VAT is actually 22%.
Absolutely.
Some have 28%, some have 30%. And there are places where you have 0%. They don't even pay VAT. And when you look at it, these are economies that are truly thriving. When I heard that report, of course, when the finance minister came out to talk about it or to announce it after the Federal Executive Council meeting, I said to myself, did they look themselves in the face, eyeball to eyeball, to say, look, let's do this to Nigerians? How do you do that in a place where people are battling to pay 30,000 naira minimum wage? When you talk about it, that it's about the lowest in the world, have you put it side by side or equated it with countries where power works? How can I pay VAT of 7.5%? I provide my own power at home. I tar the road that leads to my home. I provide my own water and so many other things that Nigerians do. But when you look at it and see what is obtained in other parts of the world where they pay higher tax, how would you say Nigeria should do a thing like that?
Now, let's get Razak's reaction.
Well, every working entity in the world is a taxing entity. And there's no way you look at it, you will want to agree with the government that there's enough for us to pay more tax. In the past, because governments are not doing the right thing, roads are not tied, we are not working on power, so it gives the wrong impression that the Nigerian government is a rich government. But when we begin to construct road in 36 states of the Federation, housing program, people have been, the power sector is beginning to demand more money. Railway, which is so expensive, is gulping billions and trillions of naira. So it begin to, we begin to realize that we are not even rich. So there's no how the government will not fall back to people to cough out money.
But then,
what we will advise FRS is to make paying of tax less cumbersome.
Beyond it,
I do government work, and so they deduct
beyond
money
it
from
being
stocks.
less cumbersome, Razak, you see the issue that for most Nigerians is the fact that if I see what this tax has been used for, like she said, we're providing our water, tarring the roads and all of those. And then now what the increment is for is because the new minimum wage has to be financed.
Veronica,
and
that should be said about what has happened
now,
in the past.
The issue is about we Nigerians helping government
That should be said about what has happened.
If you look at me,
if you quickly,
yes,
that should be said about what has happened in the past. I have been paying educational tax for several years, but it pains me when ASU goes on strike and they say there's no money to buy. So where's my educational tax going? But today, the story is changing gradually. And we know that to even tie all the roads in Nigeria, we know how many trillions of naira that we are going to need to do that.
We agree.
Now, what we are doing today is part of the reason why the government will begin to sit tight that you can't collect 7.5% tax on people and people won't be able to point out what they are doing.
Which is exactly where I'm going.
We are on the road. Yes, I'm agreeing with you. I agree with you. You are right.
Because you just talked about education tax now that you've been paying.
So today now, it is impossible for you not to see where your money is going. Because
not everywhere. Just say in some places you're able to see. Even in Lagos, and I will tell you that some people will say, look, we do not understand what's happening. I went to a community, let me tell you. These people said to me, are we really Lagosians? You get there is no power, no public school, no healthcare facility. Yet they pay tax, they work and they pay tax.
That must actually be a very, very rural part of Lagos.
So why should it be?
That shouldn't be.
That shouldn't be.
Is that part of Lagos? That's the essence. Now, another issue, Razak, because we have limited time, we can't dwell on one issue, is the fact that the federal government should look at spreading its tax net. Because it is said that those at the middle class and below the middle class are the ones that bear the brunt of this tax. Perhaps tax luxury goods that the former president tried to do.
Exactly. Then again, I want us to look at the fact that government needs to, take a look at their pay, the perks of office and all of that. Why don't you deal with that, for crying out loud? Look at how much a senator earns. There's somebody who works 35 years. I saw a video that brought tears to my eyes. A man who's a pensioner actually sleeping somewhere in the open, and a lady drives up to him, gives him 2,000 naira and a pack of food. Veronica, this man was crying. This man would be as old. My father is 80. He would be as old, if not older, than my father. And that's someone who served Nigeria for that number of years. But you have people who get in, who have no idea what they've gone there to do. After 8 years, they are earning so much money, and you wonder what it's about. Then you're taxing the poor person so that you can give the rich, you continue to give them a good life. I don't think it's a worthy thing to do. They need to sit back, look at it again. And as you said, look at some of those goods that truly need to be. And why can't you look at people, the way they earn, and tax them that way? I think that's something that will work. But not the very poor people who work for years, they don't get their salaries.
We are redefining what the government is saying.
What is the government saying?
What the government is saying is self-explanatory, that if you are working, if you are running business, low-class people do business, high-class people, middle-class people do. What we are saying essentially is that you must pay tax, and tax is increasing. The thing that FRS needs to do, because the process of, before I start doing government work, I've been to FRS for a whole week that I want to be taxed. How do I get paid? It's so cumbersome that I got angry and I left until I started doing where my taxes are deducted from the store. So what if you are saying, married to what I've said, that, and we arrive at an equilibrium that there must be value for the money that we're earning. And there must be no impression that certain people are enjoying while people are being overtaxed. Then married to what I'm saying, that if we must feel government impact all over the country, there's a need for us to be committed to tax paying. There's a need for us to know that the services that we are enjoying, the money comes from somewhere. And the state the government is today, government is becoming broke gradually. So the expenditure source must be spread. There must be that desperation for us to
government
look for more
money. Government will be broke if they do more than what it is that they are supposed to do.
They will constantly do, they must constantly, I'm not talking about luxury. Government must constantly do beyond the money it has. There must be projection. Roads must be tarred, there must be security, there must be all sorts of things that must do. So I agree with what they have done. But I want us to factor what Ife has also said, that there must be value for money that we are paying.
Thank you, Ife. Thank you, Razak, for your time on the newspaper review this morning. You're watching TVC Breakfast, and we're streaming live on YouTube. You can connect with us on Twitter using the hashtag TVC Breakfast.